My name is Chelsea Roos. I'm from Abbotsford, British Columbia, and I'm studying opera at McGill in my second year of my master's. My parents put me in piano lessons. I was very young at 4, and I begged them for voice lessons, and I wasn't ready until I was about 11. I was kind of torn in between a life of music and practicing law. I ultimately decided, along with many talks with my parents, to pursue music because that's where my heart really was.
Beard balm. A friend of mine actually peddles this stuff.
My name is Jonas Bungen from Ottawa. I'm in my 4th year of voice performance at McGill. People say I could be a bass, people say I could be a baritone. I've heard held in tenor once or twice, but I'm thinking that's more just people dreaming big for me. I actually got into opera by accident. I was singing in a choir with a friend of mine and in a rock band, and I happened to mention that I wanted to be a better singer, and he said I should take a lesson. Initially, I really didn't want to sing classical music. I eventually caved, and I liked it. I really wanted to come to McGill. My dad was actually an alum. He was captain of the football team.
My name is Rose Tremblay. I'm a mezzo-soprano from Montreal. I'm in my 3rd year of undergrad. It's a performance major, but I'm also doing a minor in European culture and literature. Last year, I started singing the chorus in Opera McGill, and this year is the first time I'll have a part in 2 productions, actually. First, I wanted to be a songwriter. I was writing my own compositions at the piano. I begged my first singing teacher to take me in for like years. She was a classical singer, so she just put me in that kind of repertoire, and I saw that it fit my voice.
It's a crazy day. At the end of the evening, we will have listened to over 100 singers audition. They're all trying to get cast in Opera McGill productions. It's like taking a flight to Australia. You just sit all day.
It's really exciting. We have an amazing season coming up, and there are a lot of mezzo-soprano parts, so I'm thrilled, I'm nervous.
I used to have a problem where my legs would actually shake. That's gone away, luckily. But still, if I have to raise a hand or something, I will often catch myself. My hand is just shaking.
For me, it's not about pushing down the nerves, it's almost about using that energy as excitement and joy. It's going to be just a wonderful thing to have be my last kind of mark at McGill.
It gives me a chance to slowly start with small parts that are getting bigger. It's really nice, it's good for my confidence.
I get to be in 2 operas this year, which is 1 more than I've got to be in last year, and 2 more than I got to be in any year before.
This is our first sing-through of the opera Little Women.
I can't wait to start now. I almost cried during the first run through. I mean, people are so talented.
You have a corset.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, and with those corsets, sometimes you just lose like 3 inches from the waist.
I've been singing operetta before, but I never had a part in a real opera production, so I am so happy.
The entire time you sang the duet, you didn't once look at Meg and Brooke. They are people you can look at.
The Little Women rehearsals are going very well. I'm actually astonished at how quickly it's fitting together.
Well, now it's getting better. When we started, I actually had a moment of panic when I totally lost control of what I was doing for the first run through with Maestro Larkin. He is really imposing. He's a great musician who has such a big experience with this show, and he knows exactly what he wants from us.
I'm trying to take the voices of Louisa May Alcott and her sisters and put them on stage, but also try to connect them to the March Sisters. And Jeanette had a brilliant idea, which was to create these dresses that were the exact same style of dress. And the only thing that would change, though, is that the material would sort of reverse.
We have these two very good-looking women that has to look sick. So I thought that this color would kind of be better for their skin tone, make them look a little pale and a bit greenish.
She has, we haven't talked about this, website. So she has a website. How many of you have your own websites? Hopefully by the end of this term, a few more of you will.
We're right in the midst of audition season as well as preparing these operas. I am auditioning for a few young artist programs in Canada. And I've also been auditioning for a few summer programs. It can be a lot. It's a good thing I love to sing.
I've had a couple problems. I was accused of actually having the worst feet in the entire cast. Today he told me I was doing much better, so I got it.
I'm just gonna breathe out. There you go, that's great.
Okay.
When I wear a corset, I have something to resist when I'm breathing and when I'm singing. Like when I breathe out, I can feel that I'm breathing out. It's just it's a nice sensation. It also keeps you very upright.
Do you want my Cecilia face? I am performing Cecilia March.
That's nice.
She is the rich aunt. She says exactly what she thinks all the time. It is a lot of fun.
I guess this is the before shot. It's the after photo. It actually gets much easier as it goes, especially the more comfortable I get to be in my character's skin. Getting used to standing in a waistcoat. I've never worn a waistcoat in my life.
Yeah, that's the one you're going to wear. I'm going to remove the,
I was sick all last week. It was the worst. I found out that I have a sinus infection. So I'm now on antibiotics and it's much better now, but it's always such an emotional thing for a singer to get sick because I feel like I just lose a part of me. My double, Angela, she's the other Beth. She actually was able to sing off stage for me while I walked through the staging.
Maestro, I believe, is in Frankfurt for a couple days. So we do get a couple days off rehearsal, which is nice. I could do one or two. This is maybe more than I would ask for if I was given the choice, but it's a good chance for us to go back into the practice room and work on things ourselves.
Just sisters, and a day off. This is the beginning of our weekend kind of off. We don't have anything until Sunday, so we decided to get together and make some supper. Tonight's our piano tech rehearsal for Little Women, and it'll be the first time where the cast gets to walk the stage.
Let's do that again. Can you walk backwards all the way and take it around the piano and then flip around? Sure. Okay.
It's the first time where things start to really look like our house and our set and our story.
This is my first time here, so it's new to me, the level of students here. Singers are very, very well prepared. It's an extremely difficult piece, rhythmically, vocally. I think we're on track. We have one more rehearsal before we get to those final dress rehearsals, and each time gets better, which is very encouraging.
It's the night of the premiere. We are making my fantastic makeup with Florence. I'm really excited. I'm quite nervous. I'm trying not to think too much about it. I'm pretending that I'm not going to sing. I'm supposed to be really old and a mean character, so we're emphasizing my natural traits to get more personality out of it. This expression, for example, like with the makeup, it really comes across.
For Beth, Florence has me do no rouge, no red cheeks, no lipstick, very little makeup, well, a lot of makeup, but very little red. So she's making me look very sick.
Do I look old to you? I'm the youngest person on stage, and I have to make myself look like the oldest.
Okay, show me your lips. Yeah. That's nice. I don't know. Yeah, and your brow. Yes, good.
Voila, Daddy.
Lovely. Thank you, sir.
Toi, toi, toi.
Thank you.
So I just got my hair done by Pierre, and he did a very period hairstyle on me with braids in the back and all pinned up. Feeling very Bethy.
Yeah. I will do the coloring the beard, aging a bit the beard.
Patrick made me grow this beard. I suppose he wanted me to have a big old beard to turn white and make me look fatherly.
We're putting a mic on for the webcast, so it kind of gives us a little more pressure because everything will be recorded.
There you go. I think she's a real special talent.
Oh, I love it.
I think she has a great potential.
That's awesome.
A lot of young men his age, they may have high notes or they may have low notes, but they don't have both. And Jonah has both.
Rawr.
This is a role that is very demanding vocally. She's really handling it exceptionally well.
As a singer, the biggest thing I'm taking away from Little Women, I think, is just like, I'm a much better actor than I was going in.
I'm really proud to be a part of this. The singers I shared the stage with are amazing. I've learned so much by watching every one of them.
I always find that the pieces that are the most challenging for me at the beginning end up being the pieces that I love the most.
Years
exhausted. Right after the production, the only thing I wanted is to get in my bed for at least 1 week. But no, I have so many concerts to prepare and so many repertoire to learn. I'm already learning my next role for March, so it's always singing. A lot of singers from Opera McGill have their first job as paid singers in church. John heard me at an early music concert at McGill. He asked me for an audition. You think that it's only a school thing, but there are actual people coming to the concert looking for musicians and singers to hire.
I usually get post-show blues pretty bad, but being that I'm doing my grad applications and that I had to like dive in and start learning a role and the chorus music for Baby Zia, I didn't really have time. There wasn't really time to like lament the fact that Little Women was over.
Some of my colleagues organized an event which is normally known as Opera on Tap. And by going to bars and cafes, we're exposing younger generations to how amazing opera is and this great art form that maybe they haven't gotten a chance to experience yet. Musetta is entertaining the patrons of the cafe in the opera, so that worked very well for me and I enjoyed myself.
It's been a great semester for people in the business to come and talk, give master classes, etc.
So Lise Lindstrom, who's our Electra, she's singing and it cuts, and like she just is wailing out there, and you just see Adik in the pit on the monitor, and he's just like has his baton waiting for her, just smiling because it's amazing.
I think it's very important to have professionals come in and talk about it. Like, why should I listen to what my teacher is saying? Well, because this is how that ends up helping you out in the real world.
When you hear good marking, there is equal, if not more, intensity in the diction and in the delivery of what they're saying. There's just less sound. To me, it just makes me laugh when I hear people marking small roles.
I know.
I'm just like, really? If you can't get through that? Also, it's an opportunity, like, you never know who's passing by, I'm not kidding you, like, and who's gonna hear you in that tiny little role, right?
Exactly, yeah. You just have to walk down the street.
Today was the first time we all met. We spoke through the text a lot and kind of got it under our tongues, which is nice because there's a lot of words. Donizetti put a lot of words in a very little amount of space.
When Little Women finished, I had the feeling that the year was over. And then I just realized, no, I still have another one to go. And it's just like everything starts again. It's a new beginning. It's like going through the construction of a role and going through the coachings and the practices with many other singers. And it's great.
I'm working on my audition rep today, first and foremost. And then is Elixir. For January, memorizing the chorus and Dulcamara, just in case anything happens.
The point of being a cover is so that if disaster does strike, you do have someone to go on. And I'm trying to like get coached by watching JP and Jesse get coached. I don't know what would have to be going around to knock out 2 cast members, but whatever it is would be very bad for everyone. I'm pretty convinced that both of the guys playing Dulcamara are immortal, so it'll be fine. And I can just kind of sit there and learn, which is nice. I get to throw it on my resume, and being young and in my undergrad, I don't have much on there anyways, so a Dulcamara cover is a very nice thing to put there as well.
I'm singing the role of Adina in Donizetti's very light-hearted bel canto opera. One needs to build up enough stamina to be able to sing Act 1 and Act 2.
I think it's just enough
Yeah, really?
In terms of length, I think it can go
Longer?
a bit longer, yeah.
7:28 siamo già nel futuro.
Siamo nel futuro.
Dobbiamo-
I'm lucky enough to have found someone that I can love and can also speak Italian too. There are like 4 major languages that you should know when you're an opera singer, which are English and French, and then Italian and German. My Italian is as good as my English right now. German, no, I'm still working on that one. And then when I'm done with the German, I'm gonna start with the Russian, because there are so many mezzo parts that are amazing in Russian opera.
It was the night before I was going home for Christmas. Waiting for the phone call is always hard. When we do auditions, we're always waiting for news. Oh, Montreal. Hello? I was honestly just shocked and scared to get a phone call that said the atelier. I'm good, how are you? When she started speaking to me, I thought, oh, you know, she's trying to let me down easy, because they were saying it was so nice to have me over the weekend. Oh my gosh, that's wonderful news. When she finally said I got in, I think my heart just skipped a beat and I was in shock. You just made my night. Amazed and full of joy and wanted to cry, all of those things, just so elated. Oh, I got in. I'm so excited. Hey Dad, guess what?
You're late. It's late.
I just started my Rodelinda coachings with Hank Knox. I'm so happy to be working with him. I am performing Unurfo, which is basically the good guy. As a mezzo-soprano, I often get to play men or women like that are really sensual, or witches. Like, I actually get to the best parts, because these are the characters with a lot of personality.
She's on stage a lot. Vocally, it's all over the place. You have to be able to move your voice, and you have to be able to sing a very legato line. It's been a wonderful challenge.
The day I got to sing as a cover, it was an orchestra rehearsal, and Dulcamara wasn't called, and I was in the East Lounge with the chorus. And I assumed Patrick just wasn't going to do any of Dulcamara's music. And then they moved into it, and everyone was looking at me. I was like, well, I guess that's why I'm here. My whole body was literally shaking. I walked out and I sang it. And I knew it. I had practiced it, thank God, but the first time doing it ever was with orchestra, and that was terrifying.
And that was Jonah, our cover of Dr. Gifford.
You need a bouquet?
I do. In the opera, I'm to be married to Belcore to basically make Nemorino jealous. Whoa.
For this opera, it's a comedy, you know, I pick up things. See here, I have the Spanish army of the Napoleonic Wars. I said, wow, this is great. The soldier has a fabric for their pants that were very funny. And I said, okay, that was the start to begin this design.
There's this one run in the opera that's spans 2 octaves. So it goes from a high C to a low C in one shot. I really have to be warmed up at the top and the bottom, because otherwise it's just gonna croak out. You
The Elixir of Love's going really well. We are actually way ahead of where we should be at this point in time. We're already on the stage about a week before we normally are. We have a lot of work ahead of us, but I'm feeling quite confident right now.
You shall not! I am fortunate enough to be a member of the chorus. I am a peasant.
When we have the chorus, it's always a lot more work. Of course, I pick up things from the stock we already had for the peasant, but you know, I'm adding colors, I'm adding different type of hairdo or shoes. Past peasant, future.
Maestro! Musica.
We get to experiment a little bit with like creating our own character on stage because it's so undefined. Or the character that like I'm envisioning for myself is just a little bit too dopey. He wants to be friends with the soldiers. I'm working on it. I've received confirmation that I have an audition for the master's program at McGill. I was granted an audition at the University of Toronto, and I woke up to an email from the Fletcher Opera Institute that I was granted an audition there. This morning was a good morning.
I came to the Sitzprab today. I think there is always something to learn, and especially when you don't have the stress of performing. And watching people, you know, how they prepare for their big area, how they react to the conductor, how they adjust to the orchestra.
Can we go from the snare drum roll?
All these little tips are really useful in a career, and you don't get to pay as much attention when you are under the pressure of a role.
Clutching hope, we must cope as we can.
McGill Savoy Society is theoretically it's a Gilbert and Sullivan Society. This is now my third year. This year, for the first time, they're venturing away from Gilbert and Sullivan. They're doing The Merry Widow by Franz Lehár.
What to think, what to say, what to do.
Everyone does it for either experience or for fun or just as an outlet.
This piece is a really hard sing for the soprano. Chelsea is double cast with Paula Berry, and they've both been doing a terrific job.
I did go home last night and just kind of plop myself on the couch feeling like, okay, I really sang an opera today.
It's opening night of Elixir of Love.
I'm just here to say hi and say toy. I'm well, how are you?
You could almost say that the guys are rowdier. Sorry.
What? Never.
Almost.
I just keep thinking about the hamburger I'm going to eat after, after the show. Now that we've done the dress rehearsal, I feel confident.
I'm actually thinking of adopting this style for my day-to-day life. Peasant chic.
Toy.
Thank you, my sweetheart.
Have a wonderful performance.
Oh, thank you. So we're putting on the mics for the broadcast to capture all of the sounds we make on stage. I'm so excited, I can't wait.
Diammi appressi tuoi, l'ultimo addio.
I can't wait for the rehearsals to start, but I don't feel quite ready yet. I'm a little nervous right now. I wish I had more time, but that's where we always wish that.
Yeah. So it's Ulysses, right? Somebody's away. Yeah. It takes them a long while to get back.
I have no idea what's going to be like, the costumes, what kind of setting we have. I don't know. It's exciting because it could be anything, especially with Baroque, because Baroque is pretty much a canvas that you can create anything on top of.
This is a brand new competition to McGill. Many students competed in the first round and they picked 4 finalists. It can be art song or opera. So the prize money is $25,000 that goes to the winner. That's a crazy amount of money. At this point, we're just happy that this competition exists. And someone will walk away very happy, I'm sure.
The Merry Widow was a blast. I only really got into the swing of it at opening because there'd been so much else going on for everyone with Elixir. But then all of a sudden we had opening night and the show just turned into something that I think was incredible.
The Duke bless his heart of a nation, and may no loyal heart forget.
I performed one weekend in very good health and one weekend with laryngitis and without a voice at all. One should not sing when one has laryngitis, but it didn't feel right to not go on. That's all I can say, is I have to do what feels like the right thing to me.
Yeah, and try to get the hands high up, yeah.
We had to stage Rodelinda in a very short amount of time because we had the spring break in the middle of our staging sessions.
You need to serve whatever you need to.
It was really intense.
But you can't get in the head and behind.
Yeah, everything had to be really condensed and efficient.
It looks like a weird dance.
I was listening for the first consonant, and then I heard that and I was like, oh my gosh. Honestly, disbelief, just shock. My dad, I think, he's down the street running around. He couldn't formulate words. I can't think of a better way to leave and, have a great memory of my last moments here. It's starting to feel real that I'm going to be a professional singer.
It's been a fabulous evening here with 4 amazing singers. It's always a joy to be at the Schulich School of Music. This feeling of kindness and friendliness that people really remark on when they come from other places.
My teacher, Joanne Kolomayets, came backstage this evening and was like, here you go. This is the ring that I wore when I won the Met competition. I feel very honored to have worn it tonight, and it obviously worked.
Oh yeah, that's sort of cool.
So you like this better than this?
That looks frightening. I've added a whole bunch of characters into the show. There are guards that are in this piece, and they kind of are brutal riot police. I was watching Game of Thrones with my son, and I thought to myself, the themes that are playing out in Game of Thrones are exactly what's happening in Rodelinda. The idea behind the production is a distillation of theater.
This is what I had planned for Rodelinda.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Purple for me means royalty, in a very black and white design concept. So black, gray, cream, these are our colors. Metallic. A little bit of a fashion show set in kind of an industrial space.
So those are the 3 extra inches for a rose. One of the part of the body that is very feminine is the neck. And when you want to have a woman in a man's character, you have to hide the neck, which does a lot of the job. It's always a big pleasure for me to see on the stage with the light and that, okay, I draw that and then woo!
My entire time since Elixir has felt like a little bit of a free fall. I have a recital to prepare for, I have song and trip to prepare for, but mainly it's been lying awake at night thinking about what city I'm going to live in next year and what school I'm going to go to and who I'm going to study with. I have decided to stay here in Montreal and pursue my master's degree at McGill. I have an incredible support network of peers and faculty here, and I'm happy here.
Beautiful, that's it.
Your voice teacher fills so many different roles in your progression as a singer. I feel like my relationship with Joanne is, yes, dependent on her being very aware of my voice and where I'm at and my technique, but she also is somebody who is an enormous mentor to me and has really been very involved in my strategy as a young artist.
We were doing a lot of stagings and it felt quite tiring, and after a while you just sometimes you stop enjoying singing, and going back to just sing with the orchestra is really energizing.
Right, so there'll be a few of these. Let's figure out what you're doing here.
At the moment, things have kind of slowed down for me, which is nice. I have been writing a very large paper for this one particular seminar, so I've had time to focus on new repertoire, like oratorio and art song, that are outside of my love of opera. So this summer, I'm very excited to be going to Banff to work on The Rape of Lucretia by Benjamin Britten. The Worth Vocal Prize was a definite boost to the start of my career.
Tonight is my birthday, but I have rehearsal tomorrow morning, so I'll try to be a good girl and go to bed early. My stomach was not really good this morning, but the rest is fine.
And you had a party?
Yeah, I needed one. That close to the production, I kind of really, just one day I just really need to think of something else than opera.
People do song interpretation. Mostly it's to work with Michael McMahon, actually. And it's a lot like getting to work with Patrick in the opera. He's just this musical force.
I'm not convinced of your tempo in the end.
Yeah.
I find it...
I don't think I am either.
Not everything in singing is like putting in a costume and playing a different character, and sometimes it's just telling a story with just you and your collaborative pianist.
I had to climb for my last aria. I found it actually quite nice because it got me to think about something else, and it got me to feel really manly too.
There's still quite a few props to fix before the show opens, but otherwise I think we're quite on track.
Instead of doors and windows and palace walls, we have scaffolding and sort of minimalistic flats.
It doesn't have to be really, really clean. It's part of the set that we see everything.
Oh, it's a metal mesh that we usually put in windows, and to protect yourself from bugs in summer.
We can go to blue. Oh, it's like this. This will be. Let's take up this one. This probably will be the main color of the show.
We're lowering the grid actually in Pollock Hall to be a lot lower, so you can really see the lights in play. It's almost like a rock show, you know, where like they put light into the audience.
After the opera, we will invite Motley Crue. They will come to do a set here on this.
This is the great time when we're doing these productions, when after all of this work, and after the first dress rehearsal where you put it all together and you realize, we're not ready yet. Suddenly, we are ready. Everything is actually going to be quite beautiful, and the run last night went super well.
Hi, Jenna.
About an hour before show, everyone.
I'm gonna do the 5 o'clock shadow, so that I look like I have a beginning of a beard. And then Florence is gonna help making my jaw look more masculine and also accentuating my eyebrows.
She improved a lot with her makeup since the first time I met her in the show. I am very proud of her.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just wanted to like touch base with you before the show happened. That one is having some trouble.
It's been really intense, really quick process. Which one? No, this one seems bigger, right? This one's longer. I have difficulty to be precise enough in Baroque music. And you want it to be controlled, but free at the same time. Because you feel really naked also. And the orchestra is quite light, and your voice shows. People can actually hear what I do.
Ready for Ed to enter from the right.
Augie, give us your one. There, hold there, right there, Augie. Smoother, there. That's
Ed's gonna sing.
Little top.
Actually, Emmy is
right there, hold on.
Focusing on Bert, he's gonna sing an aria.
Everything is really wow during this period, so when you go back to normal life afterwards, you have to pull yourself together and write that paper.
It was a lover and his lass, with a hey and a ho and a hey nonny no. But o'er the green cornfield did pass in springtime.
Your final recitals where you get to show off, like, this is everything I've accomplished in my undergrad.
I'm glad I'm not a tenor.
I figure if my audience has sat there for half an hour already, it's only fair that they be entertained now.
When it's so nice and comfy, way down low.
It's always been a family thing for me, karate. I've been doing it since I was a kid. Karate is all about the breathing, just like singing is. You need to deal with your energy. It looks pretty much the same as singing a tough aria.
The year was, one of our biggest. I've never had so many students involved. We also chose some really demanding pieces. Little Women, super difficult music. We brought in the conductor who conducted the world premiere, put the fear of God into the cast. It was a year where I set the bar very high, and people leapt over that bar.
Jonah Matthew Spungen, outstanding achievement in voice.
I never knew how much work and sweat and effort and time goes into putting on a good show. And I also never knew that doing that much work could be so exciting.
I think it's important for young singers who might want to be thinking about perhaps studying at McGill to see, okay, there's a lot of work there.
Well, this year just felt like 5 years, really. Every time I thought I knew where my limit was, I realized I could go a little further.
It is about people who, the successful ones, they're in a practice room, they're dedicated, they have a lot of projects going on at once. And that all sorts of music engage them.
This last year at McGill has shown me that the career that I've always wanted is possible for me. That it's tangible, that it's here.
I expect really great things to come Chelsea's way. It's all very beautiful. She looks like she sounds.
Working so closely with people who are already involved in the music community prepares us for what it's really going to be like out there.
Our lives are cold and circle.
He has this voice that is rather large, that he doesn't try to make large. He has a potential to have an amazing career. He's kind of cool about it, and that sort of coolness is a powerful thing sometimes in a young singer.
Hello.
If someone were thinking of coming to McGill to study opera, I would absolutely tell them to do it, and maybe brace yourselves.
I remember first hearing Rose in her first year thinking, this is a voice. Who knows where that voice will take her? It is certainly a unique timbre. The people who really make it out there, they have unique timbres.
I know better what the business is about and how to survive it. It's incredibly inspiring to be a part of something that successful.
And there's a lot of talk nowadays about everybody sort of that goes into the program with the same kind of singer and they leave very much the same kind of singer. We're not interested in that at all here at Opera McGill. It's all about the unique person. It's about the individual.
I do feel sad to be leaving because it's just such an ingrained part of my life, Opera McGill. But I am so excited for the next chapter, and I know that I'll never be far.